Welcome to Tent Talk with Kelsey.
And Jack.
I have prepared a series of questions that Jack has actually not seen yet.
Oh, I probably shouldn't have drank the wine.
I think there's 1, 2,
for the
3,
record-
4, 5. There's 6
For
questions.
the record, I've had something to drink, so anything I say may not
He's had a
entirely be factual.
There's 6 questions. Okay?
I'm not in my right state.
It's just your initial thoughts. You don't think too hard about them.
Love. It's my initial thought.
Okay. First question. What have you learnt about yourself since becoming a parent?
I've
your
learned.
microphone.
Oh, yeah. Do you answer these or is it just me? I think mostly what I've learned is responsibility, you know. Not only do we together have to keep routines in place, be accountable for our actions. We've got a lot of responsibility and a lot riding on what we're currently doing, you know. I feel like we've never worked as much as a team until.
That you can be responsible?
No, this is just. I guess I've had epiphanies, you know.
Epiphanies. You learned that you have epiphanies.
I've learnt that my scope was so narrow before, and now it is expanded.
Okay.
Now there is responsibility in my head that I think has to be taken on. And there's teamwork. We have to work very well as a team collectively.
That's true.
Over to you, Kelson.
Personally, I think I've learnt that I can still be an individual and a mum. I was so scared that becoming a mum was going to become my whole identity, and it's just not true. And I'm very grateful for that. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because we work so well as a team and we have good routines and structures and ideologies that it makes that possible. Because if we weren't, handballing and strategizing and prioritizing time for hobbies and friendships and a life outside of being parents, then it wouldn't be such a well-oiled machine. So,
For sure.
Okay, question number 2.
I've also learnt how well we're connected and how awesome. Shout out to your parents.
Yeah.
Shout out to Talis.
Yeah. Shout out to the parents from the school.
Parents from the school.
Lisa.
Nick, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All of them. We have a great support system.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Okay, question number 2. What has been the hardest part about becoming a parent?
The hardest part? I think patience.
I knew you were going to say that.
The patience.
You think after having 2 puppies and me as a girlfriend, he would have developed some, but alas.
And I think it's also the hard. I mean, we work so well as a team, but I think the really tricky part of this is to understand what you're thinking. I think I'm a little bit different in the fact that I love to be outgoing, and sometimes
I'm a bit more level-headed.
I like to do things that are less conservative, and you like to do things that are more conservative, and sometimes we can clash on that a bit,
Like riding a bike with a baby.
We've never done that.
But you want to.
I've got a lot of experience riding a bike, and I wouldn't put anything where, it was a high speed scenario or I had any risk of falling over.
Yeah.
Like a strut. I think a ride around the block with my mountain bike is very low risk. But for somebody who hasn't rode a bike for a lot or doesn't have much experience on a bike, that's kind of daunting, So it's things like this,
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is that when you put the cards down, we want what's the safest for squish.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the more conservative approach does win. And I think that's a tricky thing to learn,
Okay. My off the bat answer that links to my main answer is getting him in and out of the car. Dude, that shit sucked. And I think for me, I'm so used to just dilly-dallying around the shops and like driving to like standalone locations and being able to just jump out the car, go in, grab something, go back to the car. Whereas now it's like a huge hassle. Like it
Oh, for
actually
sure.
puts me off wanting to go to places like op shops because, you know, you get out the car, sometimes you're in there for 10 minutes, sometimes you're in there for 40 minutes, but it's not worth it to me. Like, just the idea of going and having to get him out, wake him up, strap him in or set up the pram, like, there's restrictions in place, and I find that hard because I loved to just do whatever I wanted whenever I wanted, and now you just can't. Like, even if you're at home and you're planning to leave, but he hasn't slept all morning and he falls asleep, chances are I'm not going anywhere now. And again, that's just prioritizing him, and I think that's important, but it is difficult as someone who has always just kind of done what she wanted to do.
Well, I think a lot of that, I mean, I haven't experienced it myself because I don't think I've ever got the pram out without you being there.
It's pretty tricky.
I just had to carry it normally. But I think a lot of this comes from the car that we've got. Like in my car, it's a lot larger, so I don't see it's too big of an issue. And I just throw everything in the backpack, but for you got to put some stuff in the back.
It's like Jenga.
You know. Yeah, and especially if you've got clothes or something from the shop. Well, how do you find going, like, in the actual shop? Like, once you've gone and you know, do you get social anxiety behind it? You know,
I would
on your own,
say no, but I know I shouldn't, but I get really embarrassed when he cries, which is pretty rare. He's a pretty good baby, but when he starts crying, I'm like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me. Oh my God, everyone thinks I'm a bad mum. And like, I know that's not even true, but it's just that initial like, ooh. But in saying that, it's probably only happened to me like twice, maybe 3 times, where I've gone, okay, we need to go sit somewhere and like suss this out. But that is again due to our planning and stuff, because I will make sure he's fed before we leave and he's changed and minimize the things that would upset him before we leave the house.
Which can be tricky to balance all that, you know. It's like you're almost waiting. You've had it so many times, especially at the start, where you've planned a relatively big day and his behaviour that day doesn't align, and you've just had to I've just recently had to cancel on Moza, hey?
Yeah.
You know, or meeting up with your mum wasn't at the shops because
both of those things happened this week.
Calming down, you know.
Which again is part of it, but
I think it's a normal thing feeling embarrassed, like when they cry. We had it happen, and I also remember it at Target at one time, and at Rocco shops, wasn't it? That was embarrassing, but
it is.
You know, what do? Do you drop? You know, if you're at a food shop, do you leave your trolley behind? You know?
I'm glad it's never happened to me like proper when I've been like actually there with a sole purpose of like grocery shopping or something.
Yeah.
But okay, next question. What has been your favourite like moment with Squish?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like the weekends for Squish. I must admit, during
like
the we're getting there. You know, like when I get home from work, usually it's very dark, so none of that's super fun, I've got to admit. I think a lot of it's his age, just because he's not, you know, he's not very expressive physically, you know, in a positive way. It's mostly a negative way he's expressive. Yeah. My favourite memories, or my favourite times, even like today, like taking him out, you know, to that lake, or just taking him out, strapped on the body. Yeah. You know, and he's like so having him where he's a little upset in the car, and you put him onto you, he's in the carrier, and then you walk and he falls asleep. That's a nice feeling. And then at the very start, when you stop, he sort of acts up a bit, but if you keep walking, and eventually he's dead. He's not dead asleep, but he's deep asleep. You know. Yeah. That's one of my favourite memes.
Okay. I think you were saying the weekends are your favourite. Mine is definitely the mornings during the weekdays, where like you're at work, the dogs jump up, like everyone's having like a big snug fest. He's happy because he's like just woken up, so he's like kind of snuggly. Like that's when he's typically like this most like positively expressive, and it's just like a very chill, calm time where we're like not in a rush and we don't have to be anywhere, and we can. It's very like I try very hard to be like present, because I know that this is such a short period that we're going to get with him. And that's, I'm going to get emotional. I think my favourite, like, number one moment, though, that sticks out to me is the other night when I had him in the craft room in the bouncer and I was on face with my mum and he did, like, his first, like, big smile.
Oh, yeah.
I just cried. Like, I don't know. It's such a surreal thing that he's, like, actually a human being to me. Like, that he's not just, I don't know. Right now even now, I guess he's like a little vegetable, you know, but he is growing up and he's growing up so fast. And it's like a crazy thing to process. And to watch him, like, develop skills like that, that's one of his first, like, skills, I would say, he's actually developed. That was like, whoa. He's just going to smile for, like, the rest of his life now.
Yeah, he's learned that. He's in his tool belt now.
So I'd say that's one of mine.
My favourite moment, specifically going into detail like that, is when we take him out to the lake, like previously said. But the point where we've got him out the lake and you stop and he would normally cry when he's out and about like that. Having a setting where he would normally cry, and then I think like the cool wind blowing on his face, and, you know, he's awake, he knows he's outside and outdoors, and yet he's like passive. It's like he's he's just enjoying the moment, you know.
Yeah.
Like, he's looking at the colours, looking at the sun. Well, not looking at the sun, but he's enjoying himself. He's not crying when he normally would, you know, if you're indoors.
Yeah. Same with lights. He loves a light at the moment. Okay, my next question on the tent talk is top 3 moments of our relationship.
After squish?
Can be at any point in our relationship.
Bali. Nah, actually, Bali was cool, but I really enjoyed last time we were in Bustleton doing the treetop adventures.
Yeah.
That was a big, like, pivotal point, I think, for us.
Yeah.
You know, of can we
High stress situation.
Yeah, like, it's daunting, ziplining. I think you've done it previously or never?
I'd done it once, but not well.
Okay, yeah. You were saying that you weren't the most confident with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I remember my first time doing it. I was super scared watching the tutorial and whatnot. And then you just did it, you know. You went straight to, like, the blue, I think it was.
Yeah, wherever we
Yeah,
went.
you just went straight to it and just did it, you know. I think that was, like, awesome.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I've, you know, look back on. And same again in, like, Albany, when we got the maxi bonds.
Albany's up there, yeah.
Yeah, it was all those, like, cool little moments where we're learning about each other and seeing what will indefinitely break you or not, you know. You know, and you've tackled it like a champ. I think, like, birth.
Yeah.
You know, like, knowing that you could push them out when it wasn't looking good. I certainly didn't say it out loud, but I was like, fuck, you know, this is not going well, you know, and I'm supporting you, and then, get rolling with theatre, and I thought it was cooked, you know, I thought it was just, they had to try these things, and came on out. Awesome.
Got in the end, boys.
I love our holidays, and I love the time we spend together.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of you.
So cool.
So cool.
Okay. Bali. Bali. I think Bali as a whole was such a good experience. I think I agree with you. Like
the Sylvanians, come on.
I think, like, just in a regular situation, I think international travel can be scary. You know, none of us really had any experience leaving the country like that.
No.
Especially, like, I'd only ever gone with someone experienced. So we were 2 inexperienced travellers. We didn't really know what was going on with the money or the travel or the location or anything. We caught a red-eye flight. Yeah. Like, it could have been a very stressful situation. And I think we just balanced each other out so well. Yeah, that it's just... It wasn't a high-stress situation in what could have been. I think same with birth. And I'm not necessarily going to say that's, like, a top 3 for me because it wasn't a pleasant experience. But...
No.
I don't know, I just felt so supported, I guess. And I normally, when I'm in, like, pain, I'd, like, get the fuck away from me. You know, like, I normally get a bit bitchy and a bit angry. And obviously I've never been in pain like that before. But I don't think there was any point that I felt, like, annoyed at you. You know, like, even when you fell asleep and stuff, I was like, just let him rest. Whereas, like, I think, I did, you know, like, I don't know. It was another, like, high-stress situation where we just kind of balance each other out a bit, I think. But I'd say one of the top 3 for me is when we started the city.
Yeah.
Because
That's
for
it.
me, I feel like that's something that's never really like
For sure.
fully been accepted
For
about
sure.
me before in like previous experiences and relationships and friendships and stuff. So the fact that it was kind of like a door was cracked and I was like, oh, like, do I tell him? Do I not? Do I tell him? Do I not? And then all of a sudden, you know, we were fucking blueprinting. We were dropping bags and bags and bags on this thing. And like, it was a passion we both had. And I've never been made to feel like it's too much or it's like kind of weird or anything like that. And I really appreciate that. I think that's like top 3.
Lego one, that goes the same for me, I think, because
Yeah.
when I obviously didn't know Chris liked Lego and stuff, and I always played it as a kid and whatnot, and really I remember being in the car taking you to work, and
Yeah, it was in
they
the
had
car.
that Lord of the Rings special Lego
Yeah.
like deal, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to get this, you know, and I felt a bit awkward saying it out loud, you know, and I think
Never got
even
it, by the way.
after it was like kind of like a bit awkward, but that was because
I was
you
like,
were
"Oh."
hiding
A
pretty
detrimental
serious
piece of information.
Yeah, and then I think I picked you up and mentioned it again, and from there it just went.
Bang.
She didn't even get the Lego in the end.
Didn't even
Just
get
onto
that set.
bigger and other things like the city.
Like a whole ass fucking suburbia.
For sure, it was a scary time to say that because it's like a kids thing. You know, a lot of people think it's nerdy. You know.
Yeah.
And went out on a limb.
Yeah.
And we got a city.
Got a whole ass city. We're mayors.
We're investors.
Yeah. I would say another like top things are escape rooms.
Yeah.
It's another one
Escape
where
rooms
we
are
just
cool.
work really well as a team.
Yeah.
Like anything like that, I think is always really good. But
For sure, all those activities.
colouring, anything like that, really. Anything we're kind of doing an activity. There's not many activities we do that I don't enjoy.
No, unless it's
The dogs.
taking the dogs out.
I fucking hate taking the dogs out. They're so stressful.
Doing bike riding.
Hey, we did bike riding today.
Yeah.
It's the dogs that make the bike riding stressful. And I was heavily pregnant.
Yeah, you get stressed out with the dogs.
Yeah.
I get stressed out with the dogs.
The next question is favourite thing about each other, but I feel like we've kind of answered a lot of that.
Yeah, I accept you.
Yeah.
Like you're rad.
I'm so rad. I'm so cool.
So cool.
So the final question then is 3 goals for us in the next year. Like, what are 3 things you want us as a relationship or as a couple or as parents to achieve in the next year? Over to you, Jack. Oh, okay. I haven't really thought about my answers yet, to be honest with you. But I think going international again, like Bali, obviously it's already booked. It'd be nice to also sneak in Japan. But I think it's really important to me, and I think it's important to us as a couple to keep being a couple and not just mum and dad. Because at the end of the day, like, we're still a fresh relationship. Like, really. Like, we still haven't experienced... I mean, we've experienced a lot in the last however many months or year and a bit. But I think it's so important to continue to be a couple as well as parents and prioritising time. And I know some people would be like, oh, like, really? Like, you're going to leave your baby and you're going to flit around
like
the country? But,
as well, you know?
yeah, I just think that's like a good goal that we've established and not only spoken about, but have made steps towards actually achieving. So that's cool. Like, I think that's important.
So what aspect of international travel, like, when you say international travel, is that just to say we've done it, tick a box?
No, I think that goal there is to prioritise our relationship and time away from being parents and dog mum and dad and, you know, it's members of society and just going and having fun in Bali together or Japan or wherever else we end up going. I'd say that's one. Another one I would say, I don't feel like there's a lot really to amend. We would like to move house. I think that's a good goal, whether that's to grow our family or the business or whatever. We have outgrown our house. Yeah, businesses. We have outgrown our house and we do, like, that's a pretty good goal to do. It's another stressful experience, but we'll be better off for it afterwards. And then the third one, I want to say get a new car, but that's really boring, so I'm going to think of something better.
We can come back to it.
Okay, on to Jack.
Can I get the question one more time?
3 goals you want us to achieve in the next year as a relationship or a couple or parents.
3 goals I want us to achieve. I want us to achieve happiness together.
We already have.
Yeah, but to like completely have happiness and to tick the box and never have to worry about happiness again.
It's impossible, but okay.
I want us to keep doing the things we like to do, you know, and to make time to do those things, but also, you know, learn when it's just not practical to do that. I think that's a good growth that, you know, we need to achieve. What was the question again?
3 goals you want us to achieve.
Goals. Yeah, I think international travel's a big one. You know, I think that'd be nice to do that and put ourselves in some, give us some us time and put ourselves in some space where we just have to rely on us, I think.
I think
especially if we hit Japan where there's not even like in our language, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it also proves that like we can still be good parents and happy in our relationship. Like 2 things can be true at once.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think that's a great example of that.
Yeah. And I think the final goal, just the goal we could hit, just retire. You know?
Just retire.
Just retire. We could do that together. Live off the land. Not live off of. No, not live off the land. Live like royalties. When we retire later this year.
Yeah, right. Okay, wait, I have another question. I've just thought of this now. It's not on my list. Oh, my last one. No, I don't know. But, okay, this is the last question that I've just developed in my head right now. What are 3 things that you want to work on in your own personal life in the next year? It doesn't have to relate to our relationship or Rylan or the dogs or anything like that. Do you have like something or things that you want to work on?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear them.
We've all got things we need to work on. Nobody's perfect and whatnot.
Except for me.
Except for Kelsey. I've heard her here first. So I don't know what she's going to answer to this one.
I have some.
Just NA, not applicable. Yeah, personally I need to work on, I think, enjoying the small things.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool to chase these international holidays. It's cool to do these things where we connect together, you know. But it's also the small wins, you know. You got to count the small wins, like putting squish down together and then watching a movie together. You know, that shows growth, you know, between us. So I think that's a big one.
Okay, my turn.
Yep.
Something that I want to work on, other than, well, there's obviously a lot of I want to work on, right? Like I want to grow Crafternoon, I want to grow the school, like blah, blah, blah. But I think something that has hit me a lot harder than I expected to since having a baby is my resentment for the dogs. It's growing and it's getting a lot worse. And I think it's only going to get worse. And I'm not putting very much time or effort into them.
High expectation.
We do love a good snug, and I love a good snug, but they're just such high energy dogs. And I think I just need to kind of maybe put a bit more time towards that, or being a bit more considerate of them, I guess. I think it's hard because I deal with a baby all day, and then, you know, Jack comes home and he's like, let's take the dogs out. It's like, I couldn't think of anything worse. You know, like, you've got Rylan now, leave me alone. Like, which is not the right mentality to have, I guess. So I need to adjust that. But my camera's going to die, so we should probably wrap this up.
Okay, I've got one question.
Quick, because my camera's flashing.
Okay, I've got one question for you.
Okay.
What in the next year is going to make you happy?
A balance between being an individual, being a girlfriend, and being a mum and a businesswoman. Like finding a good balance. Yeah. Like I think in order to be or to show up as a good mum and as a good partner, I need to have hobbies and time and things like that in my own little life where I'm focusing on like female friendships and being creative and being organized, and I thrive off of routine, you know. So obviously since having a baby there hasn't really been much of a structured routine in my life because it's so focused around him. And I think just finding that balance as he gets older, things get more cemented in place kind of thing. I think that's definitely something that's going to help with like overall happiness.
For sure.
What about you?
Things are gonna make me happy in the next year. Just being a sick cunt. Yep. Just fucking get shit done. Be sick. Alright, we'll cut it there, eh?
Camera's flashing. Let's go.
Alright, well that was well, thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
The tent talk.
The tent talk, that's a good one.
Thank you.
I thought you said TED Talk before.
No, it's the tent talk.
TED Talk.
Yep. Okay.
Wow, and next time we have a tent talk, it's going to be in a tiny little tent.
It's not going to be in the Taj Mahal.
No, this is like the Buckingham Palace.
This is like the Buckingham
I
Palace.
can't believe it's the Taj Mahal.
Okay, bye.